Hey boo, my name is Kara, and on this side of town, we talk about all things travel, budget traveling to be exact. So if that's something that you're interested in, why don't you consider subscribing? I promise you gonna get the tea. Come with me. Now I know the background is looking a little different than normal, honey. So I decided before I got off the boat to actually come and do this review with sailing for Norwegian for the very first time on a 7-day cruise to Honduras, Belize, Cozumel, and the private island, which you're seeing behind me here, the Great Stirrup Cay, for a birthday cruise. Did I say it was my birthday? One time for the birthday, two times for the birthday. I do have my notes here because I want to be sure that I bring all the info you need prior to you booking your trip. And just a quick disclaimer, your girl was tired, not tired, tired, Tied. So if my energy seems a little off or depleted in this video, it's because it was. Them late nights and drink package had done caught up to you, girl, so give me some grace. I sailed from Miami. And I do want to mention to make sure when you get to the port or the terminal that you're at the right cruise dock. Is that the right terminology? And I say that because on the day that I sailed, there was more than one cruise ship, Norwegian, at the time. So imagine if I would have gotten a line child for the wrong ship. I missed my check-in time for the other ship, messing around with this other ship. You understand what I'm saying? So make sure you're checking the terminal number. No, it's not a number, it's a letter, to ensure that you're going to be sailing on the right cruise ship. Passport was the only documentation that was needed for me to board the ship, along with the booking confirmation barcode. Now, prior to sailing, you're going to receive an email stating that it's time for you to check in, honey. And that's when you know that the shenanigans is getting very close. This is where you're going to select your boarding time, place a credit card or debit card on file for any type of onboard stuff that you may get. If you'd like to add on or upgrade, this is when you would do that as well. Once you finish checking in, you will get your luggage tag and a barcode that you can either screenshot or you can print out so that you can have on the day when you're embarking. You're also going to receive several emails, honey. And when I say several, it's not an understatement. It's literally in regards to you watching a safety video prior to boarding the ship. Now, I did this the first time I received the email, but when it got to the day before, baby, they sent that email out about 15 times, and I'm not over exaggerating. And it was so funny because in the cruise streets, people were actually talking about this. They was like, oh my gosh, they wanted to make sure we watched that video. Hilarious. But make sure you're watching that video. You will also receive emails in regards to any changes to your itinerary, which did happen to me. If you have any or have that experience, you're going to receive an email in regards to the travel documentations that you need, depending on which port that you're going to. And oh yeah, just in case nobody told you, there will be a credit card hold or a debit card hold on your account. $300 if I'm not mistaken. I do believe if you use a credit card, that hold will be lifted sooner than later. If you use a debit card, I believe it takes up to 14 days depending on your bank. Now, embarkation was such a breeze. I feel like I got through the line and on the ship within 25 minutes. You will go through security. They check your bags. There will be luggage handlers when you first arrive at the port if you decide to take your luggage, which I recommend. And then I had a carry-on as well for the items that I needed to have accessible with me at the time. Also, when you're finally getting on the ship, the first thing they're handing out is a paper that tells you where to go for your muster station drill. Do this immediately, honey. Stop holding people vacation up. They literally give you the paper that shows you where to go. And if you don't know where the hell you're going, because of course you're boarding the ship for the very first time, there's plenty of crew members around to tell you where to go. You better take your ass to that muster station right away. Also, make sure you bring a lanyard for your little cruise card, because when you're in the line, you're also getting a cruise card, and that's going to be like your little credit card during the time of your sailing. I forgot mine, and I had to literally hold on to it and keep up tabs, and I ain't got time to be babysitting, child. I'm on vacation. I ain't gonna lie, I really wish that all the cruise lines would pretty much just convert over to wristbands like Virgin. That way we don't have to worry about none of that. When you get down to your muster station, there will be some people there. They literally just tap your card to say that you were there and kind of give you like a brief synopsis of what you saw on that video. And then you're on your way. I did not like though that the rooms were not ready, because I typically select the latest boarding time whenever I'm cruising for that reason, so that when I get on, my cabin will be ready. But in this case, it was not. And that was my first time experiencing my cabin not being ready. And I selected a time frame between 1:30 and 2 to arrive at the port. I want to say this, traffic was horrific. I mean, I was leaving out of Miami though. And I feel like that weekend it was rolling loud or something was going on. It was definitely some shenanigans going on, honey. That traffic was trafficking, and I'm so glad that I had scheduled my time to be picked up like an hour ahead. Let's talk about the sail-away party. Now, I went in with very low expectations because I did sail with Celebrity last year. And I remember last year, they might as well have not even listed it as a sail-away party. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I went in with low expectations this time around, and I was pleasantly surprised. The sail-away party was sail-awaying. I expected this cruise line to be a little bit turned down. If you know, you know. And to be honest, who the hell is selling in the middle of December, right before Christmas? So I just figured that it just, the crowd, the energy, you know what I'm saying? But then I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't giving carnival sail-away parties, child, especially not the ones I done seen on TikTok. But it was very interactive. They were doing like music and routines to the music. So they had everybody come together. They had a DJ, then they had people that were hosting the show. I believe that was the cruise director as well who was in the shenanigans. Some of the songs they played was like, tonight's gonna be a good night, cause the night's gonna be a good night. Turn on the light, let's get it. Fireball. You know Fireball. I can't think of how it go right now, but I remember it was Fireball. I didn't hear like the cha-cha slide or the wobble, the electric slide, and things to kind of like line dance. But for it to be a Norwegian cruise line, we're going to give it some grace. And it was pretty, it was pretty good for the most part. It gave, everybody was very excited to be on vacation. It definitely didn't give retirement home. That's for sure. Now let's slide on to the tea of the cabins and the rooms. This time around, because it was my birthday, I splurged and got a balcony room. Can you believe that? Now, I really did this because the pricing for the balcony with the package that I got, free at sea, versus the inside, the interior room, it was almost neck and neck. And it just made sense to spend that little extra and get the balcony room. If I had to do a rating, it probably would be maybe a 9 out of 10. I did like that they did have more channels than I've experienced. Not Virgin channels, though. But they did have more channels than I had on some of my other sailings with other cruise lines. Like for kids, they had the movie Inside Out playing. Somebody told me it was Beetlejuice. What was the Wakanda Forever? I can't even think of the name right now. Lord, I know I might lose my whole black card not remembering. The Black Panther. There was a lot of different movies. And then they had the cruise channels, okay, where they're telling you where they're going, what's happening on the ship, and blah, 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 blah. I feel like they had some news. They had a little bit for everybody. Bathroom. The toilet is separate from the shower and the sink. Does that make, you're gonna see it on the screen. And that space is very, very tight, very claustrophobic like. Okay, so if you're scared, I mean, if you don't too much like to be in a little box, honey, maybe you need to upgrade, because I'm assuming maybe it's more space as you upgrade. I'm not really sure. I'm 5'10", your girl is tall. I was cramped, honey. It was giving Spirit Airlines when you don't upgrade to the big seats or the aisle seats, the exit row seats, yeah. And your knees be touching the back of the, yeah, that's what it was giving. So it was hard to get comfy when it was time to do the doo-doo. I just wanted to let that be known though, because I know some people are bigger, taller, and so forth. It's a little tightness going on in there, but other than that, the water pressure was pressuring, honey. The heat was heating. I love a hot shower. I can't complain. I can't complain. There is no water in your room. In fact, you would have to pay for a package, the Easy Plus, to get the package where you get water included, where you can bring to the room. They do have water in the mini fridge. That was $6.95 per water. So you mean to tell me I'm going to spend the amount of a case of water from CVS or Walgreens for one water? No, ma'am. And with this particular cruise line, you can't bring any beverages on board. No water, no sodas. They say you was not about to smuggle not a damn thing up on here. Yeah, that's something to think about. I recommend bringing a big tumbler, filling it up. They have no problem with filling it up at the bars and so forth. Get some ice for your room. They do allow you to have ice, child. Let that melt, okay? And yeah, make it do what it do. Or pay the $6.95. It's up to you. But the room had everything I needed. A nice comfy bed for the most part, a blow dryer, a fridge, hangers, lots of closet space and drawer space, a safe. The only thing I did not like was there was no outlet near the bed. So I'm glad that I bought my portable charger so that I can charge while I'm in the bed if I want to scroll or while I'm laying down and talking on the phone and so forth. But yeah, the ports are further away from the bed. I thought that it was neat also that if you need like a turn down service, your room clean or whatever, you know, normally they have like a little thing you put at the door, like a little hanging thing on the door that says do not disturb, or then you remove it so they can come in. They have like this little dial outside the door that you kind of switch and go through, and then that way you can put it on what you want. So welcome, service the room, towels, turn down, and so forth. So there's also room service available. I did not take advantage of this, but I did look in the book, and I feel like they said it was like a $4.95 fee, which I feel like is not bad, $4.95. But it's probably taxes and gratuities and all of that added to that. So if you're capable of walking down to get your food, I think you should. One lady I spoke with said that she bought up like fruits. She had Ziploc bags where she would stuff things down from the buffet and honey, bring it up, put it in the fridge, and then ate it later that night. Honey, I love that idea. I told her she was brilliant. Now, first impressions of the ship. I knew that this ship, if I'm not mistaken, was refurbished in 2022. I also knew that this was not their biggest ship or their newest ship, but I went in with an open mind. I'm okay with the medium cruises. I just feel like it becomes more personable with the staff and crew members, less crowded, less walk-in, all of that jazz. But they had everything that you will need, in my opinion, on a cruise ship: a casino, bars, food, a library, a sports area, a gym. I ain't looking for a gym, but in case you were, I wanted to let you know they do have a little gym, a spa, clubs, lounges, pools, hot tubs. I never felt congested. I didn't feel like we were on top of each other and, you know, overcrowded. I never felt that vibe. I thought everything was fine for the most part. Pretty decent. I have no complaints on the ship and its layout or anything. But I can say that it could be because I found bars and things like that had the less crowds. If you know, you know. You know, of course, the pool area bars will be so crowded and congested because everybody's hanging out at the pools. So I would find one that's in the little corner, you know, off in the side, just away from all the shenanigans. So that could be why I felt less of a crowd. The internet. Now, I did get the free at sea promotion that included 150 minutes, but I did have to upgrade because I needed to get streaming so that I can be able to do FaceTiming at home. From what I was told, that you can't do FaceTiming with the regular package. Only check your emails, maybe do like a quick upload to your social media account, let everybody know that you're into the shenanigans and having a great time, you know, doing a little bragging, and then you got to log on off. I even had conversations with people who were saying that the internet was trash as far as the 150 minutes goes, because by the time it loaded, they started off with 150. By the time they created that email, sent it off, posted on Instagram, and logged off, they were at 60 minutes. And they're like, well, what the hell happened to all my minutes? I can say I upgraded to the package of unlimited streaming. I believe it was like $170. Yes, I know it's really, really steep. My family better be glad I love them. that I wanted to speak with them that bad to buy a package for $170, child. My internet at home ain't even that much a month. I just feel like for the price that I paid, it was too expensive to be having inconsistencies. There were times when I would log on and it would just load, like buffering. And I was like, you know what, I'll come back. I don't got time for this. And then I'll come back later. I even have screenshots where it literally would come up and say the web page is not available, some type of error message. It just kept loading. And I understand we're in the middle of nowhere. That's right. But if you're going to charge those type of prices, it better be worth it. And the church say amen. If I'm not mistaken, you can't access the Norwegian app without the internet access. I'm just going to say this when it comes to the internet. When it worked, it worked. When the internet was interneting, it was wonderful. But when it had its issues, it was not a pleasant experience. Entertainment, honey. I feel like everybody wants to know what the entertainment giving. What is given? What is Norwegian bringing to the table for entertainment, especially as a Black solo traveler? Here's the tea. My favorite show was the Adele show by the Seaside Men. They need a raise, especially that girl. Her voice is amazing. She sung all of my favorite Adele songs, so that was, of course, my favorite show. One day, I'm going to make the kind of money I need to make to be able to get to a live Adele show. But for right now, I'll take the Seaside on Norwegian, okay? Fire and Duo, is it Fire and Ice? Fire and Ice, that duo was really great as well. I enjoyed them in the evening times as well. I mean, a cruise show has the typical shows. You know, you're gonna have the shows in like the theater. They had blazing boots. Now that particular day, the seas were very, very rough. Your girl was very, very sick. I could not hang, so I did not stay. But I heard it through the grapevine that it was nothing worth staying for. I heard that the voices were voicing and so forth. I don't know. I can't say because I did not stay for the entire performance of Blazing Boots. They did have a magic show, arts and crafts. Of course, you got to get up early as hell to be a part of the arts and crafts festivity show. They got the trivia, the game shows. Basically, they have like a daily flyer, like a newsletter that they have, and they put in your cabin every day to let you know what shenanigans is going to be going on for the day. Or they put it on there the day before so you can know for the next day to make plans. Even on the app, you can use the app, the Norwegian app, and find the newsletter as well so you can have access at their fingertips. I do wish, though, that they added a feature where if you favored or liked a certain show or something that you wanted to get in, they would remind you of it. Because I would look on the newsletter and say, okay, I want to go and see that at 7. And the next thing you know, I'm down at the bar having a dirty martini. Okay, yeah, I got introduced to the dirty martinis. And then the time flies and I forgot all about that particular show or whatever was going on at that time. So I remember with Celebrity, they would remind me that such and such is approaching and blah, 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 blah. So that's a great thing I would suggest adding. Karaoke is my all-time favorite, and they had it almost every night. Come on, karaoke with an open bar. Put 2 and 2 together, and what do you think you get? A good time. You had the Whitney Houstons and the Mariah Careys, honey, or the Mariah Scaries. Clubs had theme nights, so they had a 70s night, an 80s night, an all-white party, which consisted of like a glow stick. And honestly, the music in the club was better than I would have ever expected, honey. Yes. Girl, a lot of club hits. Then they'll sprinkle in the Spanish music. Then they'll sprinkle in the line dancing stuff. Then they'll sprinkle in the black music. And then they'll end it on a reggae island music note. Of course, they're going to have the dancing queen. Feel the beat from the tambourino, yeah. Hey, you can dance, you can dance, having the time of your life. Not the crackling in the voice. They play Up Tonight. Oh, I can't even go drink no water, child, because ain't no water in the room. Put your middle fingers, or is it pinky fingers, to the moon. Hey, what y'all trying to do? Hey, 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so fast. And they played And a Jay-Z song was on, and the Jay-Z song was on. I put my hands up, playing my song, my way. Family like yeah, moving hands like yeah. And I do na 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 gasolina, boom gasolina, gasolina. And then they had hot air, so hot and hurt. And then yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, then of course they went to the Tims and the what's the man name who talked with Chloe? Is her name Chloe? Burna Boy. Girl, they played it all. It was a good time. The music was musicking. Shout out to the DJ. I think they said Tiger or Tigger or something like that. Let's go on to the food, child. Let's go on to the food. Now, my all-time favorite so far has been the Jasmine restaurant. It's like I would say Asian food, but I thought it was really, really good, and it was complimentary. It was included in the ship. It was not a specialty restaurant, but you do have to make reservations, and you need to do that because it gets very busy, honey. So I would say do it for the day before. So like if you want to eat there tomorrow, book it today. They do have a sushi restaurant, but that's considered a specialty. So let me just tell you this. If you want to do or have sushi, you can always go to Jasmine and order the sushi there. That way you can have sushi and whatever Jasmine serves. You understand? You're taking advantage of everything. They have a word for it. I call it the cafeteria, child. But buffet. The buffet was okay. I stuck with the Indian food. Now, the chicken on the first night wasn't that good, honey. But the chicken on the last night or the day before last, the crispy was crispy. It was a nice crisp to it. The skin was a little seasoned compared to the other nights. But overall, it was okay. I stuck with the Indian food though. I did. The Indian food was not given celebrity Indian food buffet. I'll say that, but it was pretty decent. Some of the food definitely could have used a little seasoning. Was a little bland. So you might want to pack your seasonings on board if it's allowed. Alizar was good. I had like shrimp pasta, pot sticks, and some lemon pepper shrimp and girl. And that's another thing. You can order this, you can order that. I had the French onion soup, honey. You can order this, you can order that, this and that. Nobody's monitoring you. You on vacation. I enjoyed that restaurant, and that was complimentary as well. I love that I went right before it was closing, and they did not turn me away. And they didn't really rush me either. Now, I did start seeing them like looking like, what the hell now? We trying to go home. And I understand. I got the memo. I read the room. But it was pretty decent. It was good. It didn't taste like I got the scraps. Whether they gave me the bottom of the barrel, whatever was left, you know, the food that was sent back. No, it wasn't given that. I did have the specialty restaurant teppanyaki, and it's like a hibachi style setup. Really, really loved it. I'm big on hibachi anyway. I just love Asian food. So that was a good time. They did give me a free cake also for my birthday, which I thought was cute. Funny story. They were asking, is there anybody here celebrating? Is anybody having a birthday? Blah, blah, blah. And I stayed quiet, child, because look, I don't want all eyes on me. I did not want to be in the limelight. And the gentleman and his girl, we had been talking that night, literally bust out and was like, oh, it's Shakita's birthday. I'm Shakita, by the way. I looked at him and I was like, how did you know? We had not talked about I was there celebrating anything at all. That threw me for a loop. That was a little sus now that I think about it. Needless to say, once he said that, everybody sung happy birthday. They brought me out like this little personalized cake. Big piece too. They did a lot of singing. You know, they did a lot of typical tricks and things like that in the hibachi room. I felt like it was a good time. I liked it. I did. Do have one more specialty restaurant credit that I could use, and I could use it and apply it to my sushi that I had so that I don't have to pay for it, because I paid $20 for the sushi. So I'm gonna see but somebody told me that I really need to get to the steakhouse. So I'm thinking about steakhouse, even though I don't really care for steak. And they also said that the French cuisine is really good. So I'm thinking about doing either one for the last night. And if I do it, I'll insert a little voiceover in the clip showing y'all the food and what happened in this.
So I did use my last specialty restaurant credit in the Italian restaurant La Cucina. Do not wait like I did to book the last minute, honey, because there was no options left. Everything else was sold out for the last night. Nonetheless, this place was decent. The service was a tad slow for it to be barely anyone in there, child. But the food wasn't bad. I was actually on my Chef Ramsay and ate the risotto, which was really delish. I also had lasagna. I've had better, now I ain't gonna lie, but it could have been worse. The bread was hard as a brick. But overall, it was decent.
Oceans, or whatever the hell it's called, the sports bar with restaurant was so good, and I love that they stayed open late. There's never normally when cruise ships have restaurants that stay open late, it's pizza by default or a hot dog or some stale chips, child. But that was not the case. You can go down and get the full menu, desserts and all, drinks, everything, all times of the night. I feel like they close at 4 a.m. or something like that. Like, where do you find that at? Kudos to Norwegian for doing that, because after the shenanigans, we need food, real food. They had hot wings, fish and chips. Girl, you name it, they had it. Bar food, basically. Drink package. I do have the free at sea promotion, and I believe you can get drinks up to $13 if I'm not mistaken. I do want to say this though, the drinks are different everywhere. Like, I feel like I've had 15 different lemon drops on this cruise. I'm saying all that to say, if you find a bartender that really fix your drinks great, stick with them, follow them, ask them for their schedule, where they gonna be at, because it's hard to come by somebody with the consistency of the drink. I will say though, I found myself drinking because I had the drink package. I will also say though, because this was a longer cruise, I would not have sailed without a drink package, especially dealing with a cruise line that does not allow you to bring your own drinks, water, soda, and wine on board. You understand? So I would have needed this package. Now, if you're not a drinker, you will be fine. I definitely drunk to get my money's worth. I do hate with this particular package though, they don't include water. It is included with the Easy Plus. Again, bring your tumbler, because who's spending $24 on water? A lot of bartenders fill it up for you. And if you want sodas, canned sodas, bottled waters, all that, you need to upgrade to the Easy Plus package. And from what I was told, they're really trying to nickel and dime. And a lot of those things that's included in the Easy Plus package are going to be gone next year. I don't know how true it is in 2025, but I'm so glad that I cruised during this time frame so I can be able to have the experience. But some of these people have been cruising with Norwegian for years, so they know the changes and they are not happy about it. Okay, Norwegian? Excursions. Now I want to say this. I took this cruise specifically for Honduras and Belize. Not necessarily to do excursions though. Like, I really wanted to just relax and chill. With this particular itinerary, we went back to back to back at port. That's exhausting, mixed with food and unlimited liquor. That's exhausting. So I did not do a whole full-blown on excursion. I did do an excursion in Honduras. I'm going to put the company's name on the screen. I believe I paid like 60 something dollars. I did not book through the cruise line because the cruise lines were expensive for their tours, and they didn't do or go to the places that I typically wanted to go to. Girl, if you see me sweating, it is hot as hell out here. When you see that sun is sunning, it's beaming out here, okay? The tour I did consisted of me going to see the sloths, the monkeys, is it Moscows or whoever the hell, the big ass parrots, rum tour, chocolate tour, beach stop, local food stop. For the price, it was decent. Sloth, I feel like was the highlight of the tour, holding the sloth. I'm surprised I actually did it, to be honest. It came to the monkeys, girl. Why did the monkey try to pull my wig off and embarrass me, wanting me to go viral on TikTok? Look, they're in a cage, and so, but before you get into the cage, they have another cage that you stand in, and but the monkeys can come around on the gates, and they were shaking the gates, and next thing you know, I just felt something yank my hair, like literally my whole neck. I'm talking about whiplash, child. Just whole neck went to. I'm like, what the? Then I felt it slide back a little bit, and I'm like, oh Lord. So I'm holding on to the damn wig was about to be on the floor, child. Bats, monkeys. Of course, that influenced me not to pull up. I knew at that very moment that going in there in the pit with the monkeys wasn't for me. That wasn't for me. People have fun. Like, I've seen they crawl all on your hat, your head, and they tell you not to take stuff in there because they will definitely go through your stuff and take it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I thought I did enough with the sloth, though. I did enough with the sloth. I ain't even want the bird to be on me. No, ma'am, I'm okay. No, ma'am. I don't know why I be getting too adventurous, and I know I don't be into stuff like that for real, but it was decent. We stopped. We went to West Bay, which is supposed to be one of the nicest beaches. You go out into that port in Honduras, let's say if you don't pre-book, honey, you're going to have tons of opportunities to do so. I'm talking about they be out there howling like, tour, holding up just, you can go out there and make deals. People probably pay way less for something that I did, to be honest, because they went out there and waited. So I'm just saying all that to say, I don't like to hassle of trying to be bombarded. I want to know where I'm going and what I need to look for and get to where I'm going, honey. So I didn't do that route, but that is an option if you decide to wait or do it last minute. When it came to Belize, honey, I feel like I got robbed. I did not realize that Harvest Key or K or whoever the hell was a private island. So basically, Norwegian bought a island in Belize, and so that's where we ported at. So we wasn't in like Belize City or any of the like where the locals of Belize, in my opinion, were. You couldn't really do tours. Like the tours that you could do was more or less like water sports. I don't even know if they even had any tours available that took you to the city or took you downtown or to like, because I like city tours. I like to explore the island and things like that. And yeah, they didn't have that. So I'm gonna have to pull back up to Belize. But the private island is nice. They had a lot of different things going on out there. The pools, the beach, shops, restaurants, water sports. There's a lot going on out there if you want to get into that type of shenanigans. Cozumel. I've been to Mexico a few times already, so I did not need to get off the ship, and I didn't. I used that day to sleep. I used that day to walk around the ship, do like little footage and get more familiar with the ships because it was less people. People did say that they went down and honey, they was offering you every drug you can think of. They said there was a lot going on down there, but they had fun. They had tequila tastings and yeah, just look it up, tacos. And one of the excursions I wanted to do that I did consider at one point was like $160 or $70 for tacos and tequila. I couldn't bring myself to spend that kind of money. Even with the $50 credit that the free at sea gives you, I just couldn't bring myself to, no ma'am, absolutely not. I kind of just winged it. I didn't even get off. And then we were supposed to go to Costa Maya, but unfortunately, Royal Caribbean, from what I heard it through the grapevine now, they bought out a part of Costa Maya or something like that. And so something with that. We ended up not being able to go there, and they did a itinerary change, and we're here at their private island. The $50 off would be great for somebody who wants to stick and play it safe. So basically, if you don't want to book outside like Viator and TripAdvisor and things like that, and you want to book with the cruise ship, it would come in handy to get you a little discount. But a lot of those tours that they have are overpriced, in my opinion. Overpriced. You do have $50 off each port. So I could have got $50 off at an excursion in Belize, an excursion in Honduras, an excursion in Cozumel. That is something that is included with the free at sea. I understand though, for the peace of mind, you will want to spend a little more. I do get that. But I've been doing this for a while, and thank God I have not been. I don't know. I did want to do the swim with the pigs, which is at this particular port. But I don't know, y'all. I swim with the pigs was $150, so I would have to pay only $100, which I feel like I could treat myself. But then I'm like, $50, $100 just to see the pigs? I guess it's about the experience. I'm probably later gonna hate that I didn't do it, but as of right now, I'm okay. Don't wait to book your excursions like I did, because remember I pretty much said that I wasn't going to do too much shenanigans. I wanted this to be an R&R trip. So I waited to the last minute. It was like, well, you need to do something, and tried to book. And I didn't even see the options on the app anymore. Like it only showed like your e-docs. Just don't wait to the last minute. And then it seemed like the prices had done went up and everything. I even had like a hard time, which I don't typically see that as a solo traveler booking excursions through Viator or like Facebook groups and things like that. These people really wanted me to put together a group of people. Sir, I'm traveling solo. What the hell would make you think that I'm going to go and recruit just for you as if I'm getting paid? They're like, well, we don't do just one, solo or whatever. We do private tours, but not for a solo. And I was like, okay, I understand that. Is there any groups I can join? I don't mind. And they're like, well, no, but you can go in your group and, there's other solos on there. Maybe and it's true. That is true. But it just felt like, yeah, just go and find people and bring. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I ended up finding though somebody who allowed me to. It was a shared tour, which means that anybody can go to it. It wasn't private, and I met some amazing people on that tour. I did, and we run into each other on the ship, and they invite me to sit over with them and so forth. So, yeah, I'm glad I went that route. I've been to Bahamas a few times also, so that's why I'm not in a hurry to go down. But I do want to get out there and adventure because I like to be able to compare the different private islands. Like I've seen Virgin Islands. Virgin Voyages private island, MSC's private island. Somebody else got a private island, and then now Norwegian's private island. So yeah, I definitely want to go down and explore just to see, find out a little bit more tea. I was told that the drink package does extend out there, which does matter to me. But I'm gonna let y'all know on the screen if it really was true.
This was our hottest day on the cruise. Out of all the ports that we stopped at, the sun was sunning the most in the Bahamas. I will say that the best time to go out is early in the morning. I spoke with a lady who was out about 8 a.m. and she said it was ghost town. I came out at about 12 noon, 1 p.m. and honey, there was no chairs available. Everything was hogged up, cluttered. It's a big space, but it can get very, very crowded. And we were in port with another ship, Norwegian ship as well on the same day. So that could be part of it. The drink package does work out on the land at the private island, which is a good thing. There's so much to do here. Like if you just want a nice beach day, you could just relax and do absolutely nothing and tan all you want, child. They had at the lighthouse, you can do some zip lining. You can do water sports. The water in the Bahamas, breathtaking, honey. You can get out there and just do some videos, make some TikToks, okay? Whatever you wanted to do, you can, and whatever you didn't want to do, you ain't had to. They had bars out there, food for you, mats and float rentals, you name it, it was available out there. But I did not stay too long because I don't like the crowds, honey. And I honestly am not a real big beach girl anyway. Did I mention that this was a tender port? So you would have to take a small boat to the private island. You can't just walk down. I think I said that, but in case sis behind you didn't hear, child, I'm going to repeat myself. Some people don't necessarily like that, but I just want to make you aware. There was a line to go back onto the ship, at least during the time frame when I was going back. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a nice experience, but I prefer those private islands when there's only one ship at port.
Solo meetups. Now, can I just say that one of the reasons why I booked with Norwegian was because I heard that they had the best solo traveler program, or like catered more or less to the solo travelers the most out of all of the other cruise lines, other than I believe Virgin. So of course I'm like, okay, as a solo traveler, I want to get into that. I want to see how true that is. They do have specific meetups for solo travelers. Said that the one on board this time around was the biggest they have ever seen. When I tell you it was so many people, I was like, what the hell? So we all are out here booking trips and leaving people behind. I was proud of everybody that was in there. And I remember them making a mention of like, this is not like a meetup of where we're trying to, like a hookup, but low key, I felt those vibes here and there with some people. Yeah. Needless to say, I only went to one of those meetups. But I did see some of the people in the hallways or in the cruise street. So we would talk and say what's up or meet, whatever. One of those things. But they have it where at these meetings you go to and y'all kind of like book food together, book so that you don't have to go alone if you don't want to. My thing is, I don't mind being alone, and I don't really need the group, to be honest, because I'm the type that if I sit at the bar, somebody's going to come up and say something. They're going to compliment something. They're going to ask me about something. I'm going to ask them, well, what are you drinking? And then a conversation gets started. So it's not hard. And I also realized on this cruise that I don't mind being alone also, because I kind of stayed to myself a while. Like I would sleep in. I kind of even at some point would want to go down and be like, I don't feel like going down because I might run into some people. And then the funny thing is too, I had people that kind of felt sorry for me because I was solo. I'm like, baby, don't feel sorry for me. I'm solo by choice. I booked this cruise. And they would like literally adopt me. They would recruit me, honey, into their little circle. They're like, come over here. You don't have to be by yourself. Come over here. Or they would come and sit with me. Yeah, it was a lot of that going on, which it was okay. I'm saying all that to say, if you go solo, you will be fine. Whether you want to be to yourself or be around some folks and mingle, you will be fine. Let's talk about the app real quick. I personally enjoyed the app that Norwegian has. I heard a lot of people say they did not care for it. Every time I tried to log on, it was accessible. I can say that it doesn't give all the perks and extras that some of the other cruise lines give when it comes to their app. Like you can't book food or a room cleaning or speak with customer service. None of the fancy features for sure. But you can keep up with your purchases, your onboard shenanigans, just to make sure that nobody has been using your card or they've added on something that you don't remember approving. You can see what's going on the ship with the free newsletter. If you have any short excursions planned, you will find them there. You'll see your vacation add-ons. You will see your itinerary, stateroom information, because for the life of me, I could not remember my damn stateroom, y'all. I could not ever remember it. I barely can remember it now. I think it's 10652. Finally got it towards the end of the trip. Just the thought of having everything at the fingertips. Like I could just pull it up real quick, or if I don't remember something, oh, I have to be back on the ship at what time? I can't remember. Oh, let me go to the app. You know what I'm saying? Like, or before I go down, I'm checking it. Or let me see what's going on before I go down. Where do I need to head to, if that makes sense? So I liked it, but a lot of people didn't. I feel like they was spoiled, child, with the other cruise lines. So Norwegian, y'all got to catch up with the app because people ain't liking it. Everyone, for the most part, because everybody ain't able, was pretty pleasant. Like they greet you with a smile. They ask you how your day. I found that they was pleasantly surprised when I would say, well, how are you? How was your day? How you been? I don't know. I guess people don't ask that. Yeah, but then that sparked up a conversation. And then they would, want to come and talk to me and check up and make sure I've been good on the cruise and so forth. So I feel like for the most part, a lot of people have been very pleasant here. If they don't say much, they may just smile at you, which is all I need. A smile, a nod, hello. And then, of course, you have the ones that don't really say much. They're minding their own business. They're doing their job, honey, okay? And I was okay with that as well. I didn't have any huge issues at all. I love that they were very personable, especially being a medium ship. They would remember my drinks or they would remember my name. Shout out to Pandra and Wayan at the Great Outdoors, honey. They kept my drinks filled up. Okay, they was very personable. They remember my name. Wayan was a sweetheart. They need a raise, honey. I found myself kept going to that particular bar just because of the hospitality. It was very much giving, welcoming, and so forth. Also, shout out to the guy, if I forget his name, because I may try to go up to find out, at the pit stop or shop or whatever. He was the first one to get the margarita down pat, honey. The right consistency with the frozenness and the right ratio of strawberry to alcohol. Like, it's hard to come by, I'm telling y'all. Shout out to him. Tender port. When it comes to this particular location, which is the Great Stirrup Cay, which is the private island of Norwegian, that is the only tender port we had. Meaning you would have to, we like anchored in the middle of the ocean. It's not a land port where you can just get off and walk. Norwegian, you got to do better, because how the hell you own this and we can't just walk off? I'm literally looking over here at Great Stirrup. No, we got Great Stirrup. What is Royals? I don't know what theirs called, but I'm looking right at the Royal ship. I'm looking right at the their little dock and where they can walk off. They can walk off. They don't have to anchor in the middle of the damn sea and then get on a small boat to get taken over there. So I really feel like they need to kind of adjust to do something about that ASAP. But this was the only one that we had like that, which was fine. I mean, I'm fine regardless, but if it matters, sometimes it matters to people. Some people just don't care to get on little small boats. They have all type of reasons, but yeah, this particular port, you do have to be on a little small boat to get over to the land. Now, the guests with the higher classes, of course, are able to get tickets the night before, and they kind of let them go off first based on your class. I heard that you can just wait until you don't need any tickets. So they came on and announced like, hey, if you want to go over, now you can do so. You don't need any tickets to do so. And that's when I'm still here, but I prefer to just wait. I'm not in no rush to get over there, but maybe some people have or had excursions this morning and so forth and want to hurry up and get over. They do have that, and you will have to go down and get tickets from wherever they get tickets. Just listen out, because they do a lot of talking overhead. And what I realized too is that they don't do the talking. You know, some cruise ships, I remember that they would like chime in your room where you can hear in the room, but when it's been outside the room. Like, so literally you have to crack the door open to hear what the hell they talking about. If I'm asleep, I guess they did that to not wake nobody up, which I feel like that's nice, right? But then if I'm trying to hear, I got to get up and go crack the door to listen. So I missed a lot of stuff, but I did hear that. And I feel like that was like 2 hours from the time that they docked, if they got here on time, because I was asleep, that it took for them to get to the point of like, okay, anybody who want to go can go. You're free to go. You don't need a ticket phase. Before I go, I did book with a travel agent. Shout out to Christina. She's everything. I've been booking my cruises with her. She even sent me over a goodie bag for my birthday, filled up with all type of goodies to cruise with or just travel with. I really, really appreciated her. Anytime I needed any type of questions, she would answer them, or she would get on that phone and come back with all the tea. I highly recommend 10 out of 10. I will definitely leave her information down below. Disembarkation. Well, of course, I'm still here on the cruise, so we're not there yet. You gotta go home, but you got to get the hell up off the ship, right? That happens tomorrow. The day before, which is today, we received a newsletter that had like all of the steps and information you need to be able to disembark. So they do theirs by colors with tags. So luggage tags by colors, and then that's how you go down. If your flight is at a certain time, then you get higher off the ship. You get, what is it, seniority or whatever the hell. You get off earlier. The later your flight is, you get off later, if that makes any sense. But it's grouped by colors and what you want. And what I'm planning on doing, though, is taking mine down myself instead of having, because normally you would get the tag from downstairs at guest services, put it on your luggage and put it outside the door, and then they will take it and then group it off based on your luggage tag color. If you want to go take it down yourself, you're a part of the earlier bunch. So I believe they said between 7 and 9:30 is the time for you to get off the ship. I will include a voice note though once I actually go through the process, just showing y'all how it was, and was it or was it not easy as it was embarking. I would definitely let y'all know that tea.
Disembarkation went easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. I did take my own luggage down, which caused me to have to be up earlier, which I didn't mind. Customs have it where you just look up at a screen for face recognition, which I think made the process even faster. I literally was off the cruise in about 20 minutes top. There was no lines at any point for the most part. And I was back to life. Back to life. Back to reality. Literally back like I never left. I forgot to mention, make sure you have your key card, the one that you used as a credit card throughout your sailing and to get into your room. Yeah, that one. Out and accessible, because they will scan that card. That is to let them know that you have gotten off of the ship. I literally recorded the entire process of disembarking the ship. So sit back and relax, honey, and watch the content. As a matter of fact, use this opportunity to go ahead and thumbs up the video if you have not done so yet. You might as well. You done got this far. And if you felt the good vibes, make sure you subscribe as well.
The final question, I'm pretty sure that everybody wants to know, was the free at sea promotion worth it? And what's included? So again, if you didn't catch everything, there was $50 off any excursion at every port, 150 minutes of internet, and it wasn't the streaming one. Open bar for up to drinks to, I think, $13, if I'm not mistaken. If you prefer top shelf, then you definitely will need to pay that top shelf price. Get the plus, or get in good with a bartender, honey. Give them a little tip. If you know, and you're good to go. The time of my booking, gratuities were waived. So it's supposed to be free gratuities. However, I do believe that they kind of put that in somehow, the fee or the rates of the booking. I'm pretty sure I still pay for gratuities some way, somehow. There's 2 free specialty restaurants included, but I do believe that this cruise can easily become a nickel and diamond situation. If you do any of the things I mentioned a few seconds ago, I would say that this would be pretty worthwhile, because everything will start adding up. Drinks alone will start adding up, depending on how many drinks you get, right? Some don't mind disconnecting to the world, so they don't give a damn about internet. But me, I have kids at home, family, so I have to check in. So internet is important for me. If you prefer peace of mind and booking with the excursions with the cruise ship, of course, the $50 off will be a nice incentive as well. And if you don't want to eat the cafeteria food, honey, the buffet all the time, or you just don't want the inclusion food, or you want to treat yourself because you deserve it, to a specialty restaurant, the 2 free specialty restaurant vouchers would be great as well. So it's all based on what you want, your preferences, what you're planning to do while you're on vacation. I feel like it was worthwhile because I did take advantage of everything. I'll say that. Now, I feel like I gave so much tea, honey. This was a long one, but I'm human, and sometimes we forget. If you have any questions or concerns, pull up to the comment section and ask. I talk back. Before you go, make sure you thumbs up the video. If you know anybody who's wanting to sail with Norwegian, share this video with them. Made it to the end of this video, drop this emoji. Let me know your experience sailing with Norwegian. Do you have any interest on doing so? At this point, I've sailed with MSC, Virgin, Celebrity, Carnival, and Norwegian. And I have videos for all of them, so make sure you binge all of them, okay? I want to thank you so very much for taking the time out to watch my video. Until next time, later.